who's attending our session. I'm very much looking forward to sharing some insights on digital consultancy and specifically what's happening within the market. I'd love to share some insights in what Wrangle is seeing from digital transformation, what that means, and then also share some insights into career opportunities and share some types of opportunities and roles that we have as well. So let's get started. So what is digital transformation and product design consultancy? So we'll go through that. So for today, my session's really going to focus on giving you an understanding a little bit about what Wrangle does to really encapsulate digital transformation and product consultancy. I'd like to share some context about the world of digital consultancy and what we're seeing out in the market. There's been some really interesting changes in the market in the world of product and digital, especially driven by COVID and some of the pandemic. So we'll talk about what we're seeing. I'd love to share some insights about the market, specifically within digital, product, and design. Would also like to share some client work, so really encapsulate what we're seeing and some of the trends in the market, and share some client work and really bring it home into what do we mean by what's happening with design systems, within product, within development, and digital transformation. And then, of course, really round out the session about talking about careers and consultancy. So what are the nuances? What are the types of roles? What are the types of opportunities within a digital consultancy, and even compared to product companies that we may be a little bit more familiar with as well. So just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Cindy Diogo. I'm the head of talent acquisition here for Wrangle. My pronouns are she and her. I'm really passionate about creating exceptional hiring and recruitment experiences and really attracting great talent to organizations. Wrangle and what we do, we really believe, and our company motto is doing the right thing the right way and then improving on it. This, of course, doesn't just extend to how we work with our clients, but of course, how we reach out to the communities, how we show up specifically within the tech community, and of course, our hiring practices. We're a very curious organization and we're always looking to improve. So after my session, really to try to encapsulate the goal of this session, it's really to have an understanding of what is a digital consultancy, what do we mean by digital transformation, what's happening in the market, what are some of the challenges that we are seeing specifically with the clients that we work with, and what are some of the opportunities that we see within these type of environments as well. So let's talk a little bit about what we do. Again, Wrangle exists really to help organizations to innovate and find better solutions. So really our core competencies and what we are seeing in the market really reflect that, follow within product design. I'll talk a little bit about what that means. Digital transformation. I'll share a little bit of insights in what we mean when we say digital transformation and what we're seeing out in the market with our clients. And then, of course, web development. So 8 years ago, we started off as a web dev shop. We still continue to do a lot of work within the front end, UI, and then, of course, the full stack world as well. Okay. What is a digital consultancy and what exactly does that mean? Of course, we work with clients to create modern digital experiences. And really what that means and what we're seeing in terms of digital transformation and what's happening in the market is really helping our organizations move forward, evolve, and scale those experiences. So one of the biggest trends that we've been seeing in the market, of course, that has been driven with COVID and the pandemic is a shift to ensuring that digital experiences are really relevant in connecting with the client's consumer bases. So we work with large enterprises who have been ensuring that they're accessible online, all the way down to very small startups or people looking to create MVPs to connect in a digital world as well. So COVID really shifted the frame up in the way that organizations are working with and connecting with their own consumers. And we saw a big shift this year and moving into next year for our clients really wanting to engage in a digital world as well. Okay, the market. So these are some of the common problems that we're seeing with organizations. And again, just to frame it up, we've been working with very large enterprises all the way down to startups. And what we're seeing are really four common problems that organizations today are facing, and we're working to help them solution. So one of them is that delivering digital and digital experiences becomes quite expensive for them. So digital and being digital really is at the cost of delivering at times. There are organizations that, of course, are deciding on whether they build a solution in-house, they use external partners, or they go offshore. But one of the problems that we're hearing in the market and some of the issues that our clients are facing is that it becomes quite costly and quite expensive to do so and to iterate and to move into a truly digital experience. Something that we see in the market as well, and one of the pain problems that we're seeing is that teams aren't product centric. And really, this comes down to the philosophies between agile and waterfall. We are seeing organizations that really do truly want to adopt a really agile methodology and agile style of really delivering products and solutions, but they're not quite there, or they're still following potentially a waterfall or product or project focused way of iterating and releasing. They're doing too much rework as well, which kind of goes in with delivering and costly. It's related to the cost of delivering digital. The same work is being done over and over again, and they're finding that they're really not coming to the solution that they were trying to really solve for. And one of the biggest things that we're seeing in the market as well is that legacy systems are really slowing them down. So this really comes into both legacy systems, migrations, and then also thinking about cloud and serverless falls within this pain point in what we're seeing and what we're trying to solve with clients as well. And so here are really the deep four practice areas that we're seeing. And of course, we're working on and we're solutioning with clients, but some of the trends that we're seeing in the market as well. So that's, of course, continuing to focus on front-end design and development. So that's the intersection and the really cool work that ends up being done when our product team is working really cohesively with our development team. They're iterating on solutions. They're really focusing on front-end design and development. Front-end design and development, what we're seeing in the market and what's really actually quite interesting is an intersection of UI, design systems, design frameworks. We're seeing a lot of work with mid-size and smaller organizations within the React world, and interesting enough, a lot of really large enterprises working within that Angular world. So some really interesting themes and trends are happening within that front-end world. Cloud native applications. So our organizations are starting to think about, again, so serverless, moving to cloud, but also cloud native apps. We've been focusing and helping our organizations to iterate and pivot to this as well. Something that we do here too, and we've been starting to see, is this legacy enablement. So companies are often held back by their transformation by critical legacy systems. We help to unstick them. So essentially what we've been seeing is that another intersection between things like DevOps work, migrations into from legacy systems, again, helping them think about cloud and serverless and pivoting in that sense as well, but really helping them decouple and creating flexible architecture solutions for them too. So a lot of the work that we're doing currently and a lot of other organizations are really helping to architect different solutions for clients that helps them move over into this also cloud native. Design systems is also something that we're seeing in the market. Design systems is really encompassing what we'd see in the market as product and product creation. Design systems, and I'll showcase a little bit of an example to bring this home, is really that design systems, design thinking, and of course your UX and UI work. Again, we work really closely and the intersection of our product and creative teams working very closely with our devs as well. Oops. Okay. I think I just accidentally moved through. Okay, there we go. So some of our client work, just to encapsulate what's happening in the market and who's reaching out to someone like a digital consultancy or organizations like digital consultancies, you can see it's a wide range. So we have organizations that we've worked with in the past that range from very large enterprises with very complex digital transformation problems, all the way down to organizations that, again, which is really exciting, startups who are looking to get into the market, get into their niche, that reach out to us looking for solutions, looking for their MVP. Some of the really cool things that we've worked on in the past as well could range from very cool machine learning and AI work as well. Right now, there's been mostly a shift towards making sure that they're really online and they're accessible to their consumers, whether that's mobile or online, but there have been some AI and machine learning within the clients that we support as well. Okay. I wanted to bring some of this into the real world and really frame up what digital transformation means and some of these core competencies and what we're seeing in the market into some real life solutions that we've provided. So let's talk a little bit about design systems, and let's talk a little bit about a retail client that we had recently worked with. So a very large organization, retail organization within Tokyo. Really their solution or their pain point was that they were looking for a design system that would really encompass and create a fully responsive component library for them, acclimate and amalgamate all of their different entities, and really make their organization more accessible to the clients that they serve in Tokyo, Japan. And so some of the work that we focused on here really focused on, of course, agile, making sure that it was agile, rapid development. We focused on creating design systems and thinking about design thinking within this as well. UX and UI work was encompassed in this project as well. Of course, everything that was, oh, sorry, was there a question? Nope. Of course, everything was built in React. It was responsive web, which was really cool for us too. And this work was about a year-long project for us. And so there was all the way from user research all the way down to initial or subsequent support for the client as well. So this is what we mean when we're doing work and we're seeing a lot of work within design systems, creating product, and really iterating on UX and UI work as well in the market. Worked with another retail client, and this was a really cool project for us because the challenge of the client was really iterating on their normally in-store experiences. And so what they wanted to do was really transform their office supply and retail chain into a collaborative workspace and a really immersive opportunity for their consumers to not only physically interact with them in the workspaces, but online as well. So they would be able to access all of the services of this retail client in an online experience too. So they worked with Wrangle to really consolidate all of their physical entities in the way that they interact with their consumer and bring it into the digital world as well. So what we did here is we really started to think of, what does that mean? How do we take a traditionally consumer box store experience into the digital world? So we thought about digital strategy and what that means. There was a component of design systems here. It really followed that agile delivery process too. What was really cool is that this project also included and encompassed a lot of DevOps and DevOps opportunity, user research, and of course testing. So really the full SDLC, the systems development lifecycle, thinking about digital and taking a normally physical space and taking it into the digital world, which was really awesome as well. I obviously love this one because I'm a foodie. So we worked with a very large global food chain. And one of their challenges is that they have multiple different entities under one core brand. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to actually launch and relaunch a couple of different products. So products also included rewards apps for some of their specific stores. They wanted to really iterate on their digital experiences and be able to connect with their chain customers as well. So working with us and really what that meant was really thinking about cross-brand platforms, thinking about mobile, and also working on something really cool that we were seeing as well in the market with interactive kiosks as well. So ultimately, we were able to help them really iterate and create these products for them, and as well as move them into digital too. Okay. And then one of the last ones here, of course, a major airline. One of their challenges and something that was really awesome for us to work on, and again, what we're seeing, which is really relevant to COVID, and people were having challenges really connecting and booking flights. Their tools were obviously outdated and we're losing customers. And so, of course, in the digital world, you want to be able to compete. You want to be able to capture the hearts and the minds of your clients fairly quickly. And of course, you want to be able to make a sale fairly quickly as well. So working with us, we were able to really focus on rapid agile development to iterate on their product because, of course, they were losing clients and sales. We followed the SAFe methodology as well. This was all built in Angular, which again, as I mentioned, some of the trends we're seeing in the market, a lot of very large enterprise are focused within Angular and Angular frameworks. Smaller organizations may be using React and React Native. This also focused on a component of design systems, and then of course, agile coaching for their teams as well. Okay. So what does this all mean in terms of career opportunity and in terms of what is happening in the market? So as I mentioned, some of the trends and things that we're seeing in the market really focus on these core trends. Again, digital transformation, helping organizations ensure that they can pivot into the digital world was really important, and of course was really an aggressive trend that we saw in the market because of COVID and of course being home and everybody interacting online. As I mentioned, product, UX, UI work and design systems were really at the forefront of what we were seeing in the market and what we were really solutioning for clients. And then, of course, digital transformation included things like moving to cloud and serverless. Wrangle is agnostic on the tooling that we use, but we did see clients, of course, range from working with AWS to Google. And then, of course, a front end and full stack development and DevOps. So a lot of that digital and ensuring that you can really compete online and you're able to connect with your consumers online. So careers in consultancy really fall within those categories too. And what that means and where we kind of categorize all of the different avenues and channels in which you can grow your career within a consultancy. Similar to a product organization, of course, we have technology strategy, and that's everyone who really executes on the excellence in the delivery of the product. So that could be anywhere from your developers, your solution architects, your technical directors. And I'm happy to give a little bit of time if anybody has any questions specifically about these roles. Of course, this falls within your delivery model where you have your agile delivery managers, your quality team, manual and automated. Digital strategy really falls within really interesting opportunities where this is the intersection of working with our internal teams and executing and making sure that we're delivering on our projects, but also working with the client, understanding what their pain points are, understanding what potentially the solution could be, and really uncovering all of the nuances of what they truly need. So digital strategy can be roles like, of course, agile delivery managers. These could be technical strategists, and as well as your product folks as well. Creative is our team that focuses specifically on product, UX and UI. Oh, yes, data analytics. Somebody just asked me a question. Operations, Data analysis falls within, so I guess I shouldn't have really lumped operations and people. Operations is where we do have our data analytics. We do have clients that will pull and look to us to pull insights into their projects as well. So great question. Quality is our AQAs, our Agile Quality Analysts. Again, we mostly primarily in this market see automated testers and manual. And as well as client services is really those folks in sales and account management that focuses exclusively on the customer success and ensuring that our clients are really happy. And then we do have another team, which is our people team. And so that is, of course, focused on making sure that everything's running smoothly. That's our talent acquisition teams, our diversity teams, as well as everybody that makes sure that the ship is running smoothly as well. Okay. So just the final slide here, and then I'm going to hand it over to any additional questions that anyone may have. Why choose a consultancy over a product company? We often, when we are having conversations with people and candidates within the market, there's plus and minuses to both of them. So I particularly love working in consultancy. This is my third time around in working in a consultancy. I love working here because, of course, you get to work on multiple different projects, not necessarily just one product or one solution, but multiple different opportunities. And really within the gamut, as I mentioned, working with large enterprises, all the way down to startups, to everything in between. We're also client and industry agnostic. So we've worked with retailers, we've worked with healthcare and pharmaceutical, we work with consumer. So it's really an opportunity to work on multiple different clients and multiple different challenges as well. You also gain consultancy and solutioning experience, which is something that we hear as a positive. You're constantly learning, you're iterating. As I mentioned, our philosophy is learning, iterating on it, and then continuing to iterate. And so one of those things, and what that means, is that we're constantly looking for other technologies and where we can pivot and where we can help to solution with our client. And then, of course, we are constantly gaining insights into emerging technologies, frameworks, and stacks. So we do have an insight into what's happening into the market, i.e. this deck, and sharing all of the information of what's happening and what are the trends in the market. And then, of course, we're constantly connecting with the community to ensure that we're using the latest and greatest stacks and frameworks and technologies so that we're not stagnant and our employees are growing and learning. And what's really cool about this is that special project time. So what we do here at Wrangle is we allocate 10% of someone's time so that when they are not on a specific project, that they're learning, they're working on their own personal projects and passion projects, and they're learning and developing their own skills as well. So that really is the nuances and the differences between consultancy and product as well. So I will stop there because I think we have about 5 minutes of time. Here we go. So we have some questions here, so just bear with me. I'm going to open them up. Here we go. Okay. We talked about data and analytics. Would you say you need a background in commerce or software development to effectively gauge the needs of a particular client? That's a really great question. I particularly don't think you do. You do have to have an inquisitive mind. You do have to have an ability to really have deep conversations and to really understand the nuances of what potentially a client's needs are. We do have our digital team that has had a background in software development and has grown up there. But there's been opportunities within our sales team where they're not necessarily have grown up as a developer, but they can understand and have those intuitive conversations with clients to ultimately pull out what is their pain point or what is their challenge and how can we help them solution. So really great question. So yes, so that's really relevant. So the question is, so in inquisitive, for example, several years of experience in clinical research, absolutely, having that analytical mindset. I think the core competency here is being able to be analytical and also having that comfort level of really having conversations with clients and really understanding their pain point. Good question. No problem. Okay. Leave it here for any other additional. Okay, I'll give it a couple more minutes and then I will wrap it up. Again, I really want to thank everybody for attending before we end the session. Should anybody have any additional questions, I'll share my email here within the chat. And I'll just give it one more minute while I type my email.
Hi, Cindy. Thanks so much for your presentation today. I just dropped in the chat, but it may have scrolled down from what you're looking at. I was just wondering what we could expect as queer individuals working in tech, what Wrangle is doing to support a diverse work environment. And also I'd be interested in knowing if any of your projects are more in social projects or within public sectors, or if it's all mostly within private for-profits.
Very good question. So I'll handle that one first because that's the quickest. So we do, as I mentioned, we take on and we work with interesting opportunities. And so not everybody that we work for is for profit. We have actually supported organizations, and some really good examples of that is an AI tool that we created with an organization that helps children with developing speech. And so that was definitely something that we took on that was a very interesting project for us. And it was not for profit as well. We work with a lot of organizations that also give back to the community as well. So we've worked on projects. One particular project, another project that comes to mind is one that we worked with one of our healthcare that also created glucose testing for a subset of their consumers as well. So yes, we do take on organizations, anything that seems interesting and of value and also gives back to the community. And those are some examples of that. How we support this community as well. So one of the common themes, obviously, from these sessions has been ERGs. We do have what we call our community of practice that supports and meets on a regular cadence to really uncover opportunities for us to continue to grow within this community. So some of the things that we do is we provide inclusivity training as well as unconscious bias training that all of our hiring managers go through to make sure that our processes from recruitment and from a talent acquisition perspective are equitable, fair. We partner with a lot of these organizations as well, so that from a recruitment perspective, we're ensuring that we're connecting with the community too. And then, of course, we provide training and community events and support for community events too. So there's a couple of things that we're doing as well. Good question.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for the presentation.
Wonderful. Okay, well, wonderful. Well, thank you again for everybody who attended. I've shared my email. If there's any other questions, feel free to email me directly, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event. Take care, everybody.